Your wealth code is your personal recipe for how you relate to yourself and money, and it's based on 8 unique ingredients. And you're going to get to discover what your unique and personal wealth code is today. So we have a really special gift for you guys in place of our typical YouTube video and podcast that we release each week. We are giving you an opportunity to actually go through our wealth code workshop. So this workshop was previously recorded by Kayla inside of one of our private groups. This is a big part of the work we do with our clients inside of the circle. We're working with their unique wealth codes and helping our clients really see and helping you really see how when you honor your individual wealth code, suddenly making money becomes a lot more fun and a lot easier when you're honoring your right way to create money and not someone else's. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Go ahead and jump on in. We would love to hear your comments after you go through this workshop. And as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss a video.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for coming to the Wealth Code Workshop. My name is Kayla Jetta, if we have not yet met. I am so glad to see you here in the Prosperous Entrepreneurs Power Pack. This is kind of our community home for our company Rise Leadership Circle. And if we've never got to meet before, I just want to share that I am one half of the co-founders of Rise Leadership Circle. I'm in business with my mama, Lisa Limata, and we have a robust team of coaches. So I am so excited to be here today. If you are tuning in with me live, go ahead and tell me in the chat, Natasha and Marissa. I love seeing you on live. We're gonna have so much fun together today. And when you watch the replay, go ahead and let me know too. I love when I get to see, I pop in this group almost every day. And this video is going to be pinned so that people can watch it again and again or for a long time. So go ahead and just hashtag replay and then let me know that you're tuning in, say hi. It's always great for us to be able to connect and just see who's tuning in, who's joining us. And I know there was a lot of people that said that they wanted to tune in. So I am just gonna see who's here. Okay, Christine is back. Christine, I love that we get to be together twice today. Amanda is here, Sandra's here. Thank you for saying you love my hair, Sandra. I so appreciate that. Jasmine is here, amazing. Ooh, we are just going to have fun today. I love talking about wealth codes, and this is going to be a really good time. So if you're tuning in, go ahead and tell me hi in the chat. I just would love to see. Amber is with us this morning. Joyce is on. Great, what an awesome, awesome group we have. All right, let me go ahead and get my music turned down so we can appreciate. We've already got the party started, but so we can dive in a little bit deeper. Hi, Rachel, good morning. So welcome to the Wealth Code Workshop. Hey Priscilla, hey Betty. I am so glad that you are here. Today, we are going to be talking in the arena of financial freedom and money mindset. And I want to start by saying that I know that sometimes when we think financial freedom and money mindset, for some of us, that can feel stressful or anxiety inducing because maybe we've had a history with our finances or with money that didn't feel so good or that we're not super excited about. And so my commitment to you, is that you will walk away from this workshop feeling empowered. It is my promise that you do not feel more shame or more guilt than you're already carrying, but actually less. And that not only less, but that you feel empowered. And so just know that this is going to be a different kind of money experience. Now, some of you have already heard, you participated in this workshop. Maybe you came to Gold when we talked about this. So this language will be familiar for some of you, but you know that the way that we share this content is very different than a lot of other ways that there is to talk around money. So just go ahead and give yourself that breath or that space to know that you can really plug in here. You can tune in and not have to feel like this is going to be anxiety inducing because it's not. That's not the intention at all. Hi, Diane. Hi, Brita. Hi, Betty. Hi, Tina. So good to see you all. So I have a question for you. And I love for you to be as chatty in the comments as you can be. And those of you watching the replays too, because again, I'll go back through the comments. So use this as your space to really show up in a way and create that connection. Use the chat. Here's my question for you. Have you ever felt shame, embarrassment, confusion, or even pride that around what you feel like you should be doing with money? So maybe you felt shame because you're not doing what you thought you should be doing with money. Or maybe you felt embarrassment or confusion because you're not doing what you should be doing. Or maybe you felt pride because you moved money in a savings account and you thought like, yep, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I feel good about it. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses. So I love that community building. We're in this together. So just a reminder, financial freedom means something different to each person. So today, I'm not here to tell you this is what financial freedom is. I am here to open you up to having you decide for yourself, this is what it looks like for me. This is what my experience of financial freedom looks like and what I'm going to claim for myself. Okay. The mindset to have to create financial freedom. So we experience financial freedom, which comes from a mindset, money mindset, and that comes from your unique wealth code. And so at the end of today, you're going to have your wealth code, or some of you already know your wealth code and you're going to get to snuggle up to it again. But really knowing and understanding and living your wealth code is what allows you to have a mindset around money that then creates financial freedom. So it goes wealth code, mindset, financial freedom. And it looks different for everyone, which is awesome. So like I said, today you're going to leave feeling empowered around your relationship with money, AKA your wealth code. Your wealth code is your relationship with money, and we're going to talk about that later. So we're going to jump right in and play with money. We're going to do a quick exercise. Give yourself permission right here to let go of the need to hide or embarrassment, and just know that we are in this community. This is a supportive, empowering community, and everyone is here to grow and learn together. So I want to invite you to write down for yourself or share in the chat any 3 goals that you have right now. They could be anything, any 3 goals. A goal could be to get a new hairstyle. A goal could be to book a trip. A goal could be to read a book this weekend. Write down any 3 goals that you have. It could be a goal to make money in your business. It could be a goal to plan a romantic anniversary trip, or just a romantic anniversary in general. It could be a goal to adopt a puppy. Any goals, write down, tell me 3 goals that you have for yourself right now. And I'm just going to hang for a minute and see what the 3 goals that you have are. Go ahead and share at least 1 in the chat. I had 50 new members in my group this week. Awesome. Let's see what else. Give me at least 1. Diane has a goal to have paying clients. Marissa, buy a house, have money to be able to enjoy Hawaii, launch a new business, read Where the Crawdad Sings by next weekend, purchase a new outfit, book a massage, get a new client. Awesome. Okay, now how about 3 specific goals that you have specifically for your business or with money? So some of you already had money goals, great. Some of you, like Christina's get a new puppy in our home. So that's not specifically a business goal. So now I'm looking for 3 more goals that are specifically around your business or around money. So like Christine also has build my business to 7K a month. Great. Tina has a business goal, 3 to 5 massages this week. Priscilla, 4K by September 17th. Joyce, begin a TikTok following, be a full-time coach. Sarah, paying clients. Robin, leave in-person therapy practice for online coaching. Awesome. So yeah, I want you to write down 3, but give me at least 1. Amanda, build my security fund to 100K. Pay off credit cards. Build business to 2K a month. Finish the last 5 months of the year at 10K plus. Awesome. So now the goals around money, of course, involve money because they're money goals. But let's look at the goals that were just business related, or just the first 3 goals that maybe were like weeding the garden or reading a book. So when you think about all of your goals, do any of these goals require money, or does money somehow play a role? Do any of your goals require money, or does money somehow play a role, even if it is a little role? I would say that almost like 99% of our goals require money. Like Sarah said, weed the garden. And she might be like, well, weeding the garden doesn't require money. I would say that for Sarah to be in her garden, weeding it, that might mean that her business gets to be run by someone else. Like there's someone at her studio taking care of her clients, or that she has maybe outsourced something else within her home with her family so that she can be fully present weeding the garden, not worried about like, oh my gosh, I have all these other things to do. Diane says, yes, all my goals. Most of them, even reading Where the Crawdad Sings, we get to buy the book, right? Like we get to buy the book or listen to buy the audiobook, or even if we go to the library, we probably are paying gas to get us to the library. Or if we're walking to the library, we've purchased shoes that we can wear to walk there. It's like in some way, even that's for weeding too. Like Sarah's probably not going to weed naked. So she's going to have purchased clothes that allow her, or tools that she needs to go and weed the garden. So what I'm looking at here is that money plays a role everywhere. All of our dreams have money somehow involved or intertwined. When your goals come to fruition, will they be in service of you and others or to other people's detriment? Here's what I mean. Is you having those goals good for you and others, or is it harmful? Is it good or is it harmful? Is it in service or is it in detriment? Go ahead and let me know. I would say all the goals that I saw here would be in service to you or others. It would be good for you or others. It would be for the highest good of all. Who said reading When the Crawdad Sings? I can't remember. Was it Ashley? I can't remember who said. Amber said the Crawdad Sings. Okay, so when Amber's reading Where the Crawdad Sings, that's going to be good for others because she's going to be at this space of peace. She's taking time for herself. When your business is growing, now you're serving your clients. You're helping your clients get what they want. Your family has an income stream. Okay, so here's what we know is that if you having your goals is good for you and others, and if you having your goals require some money, then we don't have to have any shame or guilt around wanting and having money, because money is simply a tool. It's simply a resource that we get to play with, that we get to have a relationship with, that supports us in achieving our goals, which is in service of others. And so for anybody who's been feeling like, I feel guilty for wanting money, or I feel selfish for wanting money, or I feel like I don't want it to be about the money, this is maybe an invitation to just see that it doesn't have to be about the money, and it can be about the money, because there's nothing wrong with money. Money is simply an energy, a tool, a resource that gets to come to the party for us to have the experience and the goals in the life that we want, which is not only in service of life, but in service of others. We can conclude that it is aligned for us to have money. I would even go as far as saying, here's what I would offer you. Being rich is our birthright. Being rich is our birthright. So a while back, this was in April, I think April, I looked up the definition of rich and I loved what I saw. Go ahead and write this down for yourself. To be rich means to be plentiful and abundant. To be rich means to be plentiful and abundant. And I love that. I was so thrilled when I saw that that is what it meant to be rich. Because what I saw, it affirmed what I knew, is that rich is not about what we have, it is about who we be. Yes, we also can have money, have riches, have experiences, but that is not what it means to be rich. That's all of that is just a result of being rich. Being rich means to be plentiful and abundant. So to be rich does not only have to mean having an overflowing bank account, though we totally can, we're absolutely allowed to. Rich is a state of being, which for me is so liberating. I love thinking about who am I? I'm rich. That's just the person that I am. It's the way of being that I can step into. I can activate a being of plentiful and abundant within me. I was created that way. It's who I am. It's who you are. It's who we all are. And when we live our mission and serve the people that we're meant to serve, our clients, that requires that we step in that way of being. Because this is how energy flow works. We can only give once we've received. And how do we receive? By being who we're being first. So being rich is the foundation from which we can take action to serve. Being rich is the foundation from where we can take action to serve. Your bank account does not indicate your beingness. Okay, your bank account just indicates the amount of dollars in your bank account. It does not indicate your beingness. And your beingness is a vibrational prerequisite for everything else. Your beingness is a vibrational prerequisite for everything else. And so the way that we are being is often reflected in our bank account. But our bank account doesn't mean anything about who we're being. It can reflect our beingness. So do you see that? It's a really subtle nuance. It's a really subtle difference. Our beingness is the vibrational prerequisite for everything else. So let's do an exercise to determine our current beingness. I want to invite you to write down a list of facts or current statuses about you and money. So we're not looking for an opinion or anything subjective, or I guess anything, subjective. We're looking for things that are objective. We're looking for facts. We're looking for what's so. We're looking for current statuses, okay? And I want to invite you to share at least one here in the chat. Here are some examples. Someone might write, my checking account is negative. Someone might write, I have saved $10,000 for retirement this year. Someone else might write, I pay myself X amount of dollars per month. Here's a fact. I pay a premium for organic produce. That's a fact about money. It's a current status of what's so. So go ahead and give me at least one, but write yourself a list. I want you to give yourself a list, and you can give me the whole list or put at least one here. What is a current fact or status about you and money? Maybe the fact is I ignore money. I delay checking my bank account as much as possible. It's a current status about you checking your bank account. What is a current fact or status currently about you and money? Just going to give it a minute to see what facts or statuses come in. Not how I feel. We're going to get to feeling in a minute. So yeah, so I know the feeling wants to come. So Robin said, I feel nervous when I check my bank account. So what's the fact or the status that happens before that? Like Priscilla says, I ignore my bank account. Lulu, I went backwards in debt, payoff goal in the past year. Money has been traumatic in the past, learning to create a new relationship. I need to move some savings into a CD. I allow money to flow through my account. I spend money without looking at my budget. I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm slowly working on saving a little each week. Great. Now look at all of the statements that you have and write down the thoughts that you have when you think about that being so. Robin, I'm in debt. Thank you. Got it. Look at the thoughts and statements that you wrote or look at the statements and write down the thought that you have when you think about that being so. Here's some examples. I'm doing a good job saving. I'm irresponsible with money. There isn't enough money to go around. I make choices that feel good to me. I am hyper aware of my bank account. What are the thoughts that you have when you look at your statements? I spend a premium on our health and how we feel our bodies. I'm attracting money in an easy, powerful way now, but I'm not used to saving it in the way I used to. I want a beautiful balance between both truths. I have too much debt. Yeah, just what thoughts do you think? I'm tired of the negative cycle. I'm failing my family. Thank you for looking at this. Thank you for just seeing what this is, what's occurring for you. I get to spend less and live within my means. I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm currently in a financial setback. I'm aware of my account and I know what is there. And then what are the core beliefs that those thoughts would stem from? So now we're getting to the feelings. What are the core beliefs or the feelings that those thoughts would stem from? It might be, I have a healthy relationship with money. Or maybe it's, I don't think I'm smart enough to be empowered with money. So Sandra's saying, I'm in too much debt. That's the thought. So what's the belief that would have you think that thought? Is the belief that I'm not good with money? Is the belief that I splurge too much? Is the belief that I'm irresponsible? Maybe for some of you, it's I feel disempowered. I splurge too much. Money isn't for me. Definitely felt that before. I'm bad with money. I'm a spender. I can't have my own home. I'm grateful to have extra money. Nice. All of these. I put a lot out, but it doesn't return to me in financial form. I never grew up. I enjoy being childlike with it. I feel shame deep down. Thank you. I'm not good with money. Great. Thank you. What is the way of being of someone who has those beliefs? So the belief that you just put, I'm worried I'll overspend. The belief that I'm worried I'll overspend. What's the way of being of someone who has those beliefs? For example, is the way of being love, wisdom, peace, things like that? Or is the way of being disconnection, hiding, blame, fear, worry? Go ahead and just identify, tell us in the chat, what's the way of being of somebody who has those beliefs? Fear and worry, disconnect, worry, disconnect is what you meant to say. Okay, Sandra, got it. Yeah, we're just noticing lack of trust in self. Got it. Responsible, worry, feeling discouraged, hesitant to give more, shame, some victim energy. So if that's your way of being, is your current state of being rich? Remember, rich is a state of being. Rich is being plentiful and abundant, and that experience. Some of you will be like, you know what? I am being rich. My way of being is in alignment with being rich. Others of you, not quite. Like not seeing my worth, playing small. That's not being rich. So we're just getting the facts right now. We're just being with what's so. Christine, no, Excuse my dog barking. Yeah, we're just checking in. Is my way of being rich? What we just did is called a thought audit. And that's a great tool that you can use to self-coach yourself anytime you want to shift your way of being. So just to recap what we did, we looked at the facts, and then we looked at how we feel about the facts or the thoughts that we have when we see that those are the facts. And then we looked at what are the beliefs that would create those thoughts and what's the state of being. And so when we work that, that's called a thought audit, and we can audit our thoughts, and that helps us be able to create a shift. Okay. So when you're honoring your wealth code, you are being rich. So for those of you that are like, yeah, I actually am being rich, what that tells me is that you're currently honoring your wealth code, whether you're conscious of it or not. That's awesome, because it allows you to be rich. And when we're honoring our wealth code, we get to have an experience of money that feels empowering. For those of you that have a way of being that is not in alignment with being rich, that's all good. That just lets us know, remember, no blame, no shame. Like, you can choose it if you want, but you don't have to. All that does is letting us know, oh, this is an opportunity for me to lean into my wealth code. This is just the yellow light of us saying, hey, I'm actually not living in my wealth code. So let me pivot. Let me actually make an intentional, conscious choice to step into my wealth code. Okay. I want to do a quick exercise. We're going to get into the energy of our wealth code, and then we're going to name our wealth code. So when you're honoring your wealth code, you're being rich. Let's experience what that feels like in our body. Go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to keep mine open, but go ahead and close your eyes and just start to connect with your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe you want to like physically shake off any feelings or thoughts you've been having. Just start to cleanse yourself with some breath. Let every breath in feel cleansing and every breath out feel releasing. And I want to invite you to see yourself in a way that makes you feel powerful, loving, expansive, abundant. See a version of you who's powerful, loving, expansive, and abundant. Imagine that you could step into that version of you, putting your eyes behind their eyes, sliding your fingers into their fingers, activating that way of being inside of yourself. Notice who you are, how you describe yourself. Notice what you see and hear and taste and smell and feel. Just dial that up. Let yourself feel that in your body. We're activating rich as a way of being in your body. Notice how easy it can be to step into it. We didn't have to do anything other than choose it. Just turn up the dial on, and I want to invite you to slowly come back to the room, but maintain that way of being. Let that way of being continue to flow through, and tell me a yes in the chat when you can feel that, when you can actually feel that, like, I feel different than I just did a minute ago. A minute ago when I was doing the thought audit, I had one type of feelings. And now I just stepped in, and all of a sudden I created a physical shift, a visceral shift in the way that I'm feeling. Give me a yes if that's for you. If it's not, just stay in that for a little bit longer. What you're experiencing right now is a vibrational prerequisite for what comes next. Right now, you're tapping into yourself and your highest and your greatest. You're feeling into who I am when I'm powerful, loving, rich, expansive. That's a vibrational prerequisite that allows us to create from here. Our state of being, right now, your state of being is rich. And that is the vibrational prerequisite for all the experiences and results that follow. So let's get even more specific. You have a general sense of this is what it feels like for me to feel rich. Look at how easy you could tap into that. It's available for you anytime. We want to get a little bit more specific by knowing this is my flavor of rich. We call it your wealth code. Okay, so we're going to look at what your flavor of being rich is. And I see in the chat, people are like, I went from feeling anxious to calm and relaxed. I feel expansive and powerful. Amazing. So remember, even being rich is not one size fits all. It feels different for all of us. It comes from a different space within all of us. The relationship that we have with ourselves and with money is based on our own personal recipe. We call that recipe your wealth code. The relationship that we have with ourselves and our relationship with money is based on our own personal recipe, and we call that recipe our wealth code. So we're going to discover your wealth code. Your wealth code is your unique recipe that reflects your relationship with money because it's really your relationship with you. So your relationship with money is just an extension of your relationship with yourself. They're one and the same. So I want to give you an analogy of how wealth codes work before we get into it. And to do that, we're going to talk about spaghetti, one of my favorite foods. So I think that most of us could agree that a delicious marinara sauce has some of the same ingredients. Things like tomatoes, garlic, onions, basil, salt, pepper, oregano. And if you're from the place in Upper Michigan where I'm from, we often put cinnamon in our spaghetti sauce. But we can agree for the most part, right, that a good marinara sauce would have garlic, onions, basil, salt, pepper, oregano, maybe cinnamon. Some of you were like, cinnamon's not on my radar, but for some of us it is. So just give me a yes if you're like, yep, I would agree. Those are the primary ingredients in a marinara sauce. Okay. So now if we were on some kind of cooking show, I'm seeing yeses. Okay. If we were on some kind of cooking show, I could give each of us like a basket with those 8 ingredients and say, go make marinara. And we would all use the same ingredients, but we would likely prioritize how we use the ingredients differently, right? We would all use the same ingredients, but we would likely prioritize how we use the ingredients differently. So some people would be slowly roasting their tomatoes for hours, saying that's the best way to get the most flavor. Some people will be making sure that they have fresh picked basil. Some people would be prioritizing the salt, using only sea salt from Iceland or something like that. I would be making sure to use cinnamon. Some of you would have that last on your list and you feel like you might skip it altogether or just put a pinch. So we can see that while we all agree on what the ingredients are to make a delicious marinara, the way that we prioritize them would be different. And each recipe is perfect. I bet that all of the marinaras would taste really good. Some of them would taste better to us than others, but they would all be good. And it's the same with the way that we prioritize the energies in our wealth code. It's your recipe. It's what's most aligned to you. We don't need to try and use someone else's recipe. Sometimes we can borrow on someone else's recipe. Maybe we have guests coming to town and we're like, for a minute, I'm just going to play with someone else's recipe. I'm going to tweak mine just to play with it. But we don't have to ever abandon ours or ever feel like we have to change it. We just don't have to. We don't have to try to make our recipe be anything different than what it is. We can also totally love other marinaras. We can want other Italian restaurants to be super successful with their marinaras and keep our recipe just as it is. And sometimes we can play with focusing on another ingredient in our recipe a little bit more, but we'll always hold our recipe as sacred, okay? And that's what we're doing with our wealth codes. We're remembering that our restaurant is successful because our recipe. We are successful because we honor our wealth code recipe. When we follow the recipe, we win. When we try to abandon it for what we think is the right experience or the right thing or thing we should do, that's when we experience disharmony. This is what I see all the time. I feel like every time I am around someone that is experiencing disharmony with money or in a disempowered space with money, what's really going on is that they're not honoring their wealth code. They're trying to live someone else's wealth code. We're trying to live in a wealth code that we were conditioned to see as the right one instead of just honoring ours. So rather than having respect, admiration, and joy for all of the unique relationships that we can have within ourselves, thus money, society has asked us to see one relationship as the right one or the good one. Does anyone feel like this? That you feel like, yeah, like when I look out at society, it seems like there is one right way to do money and I don't do that. And then I feel shame or guilt, or I beat up on myself, or I say I'm not good with money. Or if not society, it could have been a relationship or a pattern that we either learned at home growing up or when we got into a relationship with our partner. It's like our parents had a certain relationship with money and we took that on. Or our partner does money in a certain way, has a certain relationship with money, and that's not really ours, but we do it. It's like our partner made a marinara, and rather than making 2 different marinara sauces, we just abandoned ours and we started making theirs. But something always feels a little off. We always have a little bit of disharmony because we're like, oh, I want to make it different. So notice that this is an opportunity to make none of it wrong and allow for it all. To not make our partner wrong or our parents wrong or society wrong, not to make how we were conditioned wrong, like what we were conditioned with, just to notice all of it can exist. There can be endless recipes, endless relationships. And I don't have to take them on. I can allow for all of them to exist. Everyone can have their own wealth code, and I can just celebrate mine. I can just live into mine. I can celebrate them all and live into mine. So the gift in playing with the 8 energies in our wealth code, and I'm going to explain what that means in a minute, is that we can see that if we are in alignment with our wealth code, if we're living our wealth code, we can experience our greatest success. And anytime that we're trying to should ourselves into anything else, we move into misalignment, and that often shows up in our bank accounts. And so what I do notice a lot is that if we don't see in our business or our bank accounts the money that we want to see, that is letting us know we're not living our wealth code. When we live our wealth code, we see money in our bank account go different. That's just how it works. Okay? Our relationship with ourselves and money can be rooted in love and look different than someone else's. That's liberating. It's freeing. We don't have to make our partner wrong. We don't have to make our parents wrong. We don't have to make what a lot of society is doing wrong. We can just say, mine looks different and it's still rooted in love. So our wealth code is comprised of 8 energies. That's what our wealth code is. Our wealth code is 8 energies that we put in our own specific order with our own specific priorities, AKA our own specific recipe. And we honor that recipe, and that is what is our wealth code. Our wealth code is our relationship with money according to our recipe. So here's how you discover your wealth code. I am going to give you the 8 energies. I'm going to give them to you in alphabetical order, and I want you to order them from your top priority to your least. Now, stay in the energy of you feeling really rich. We're not ordering these to what your partner would want or what you think you should say. You're ordering these in your priority of what your truth is. So this is an invitation to step out of the blame, shame, and guilt. Step out of, I think I should have this as my top one. And actually, this is my truth. This is my top priority. And that can look different for somebody else. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the chat. Remember, I'm giving them to you in alphabetical order. And you put them, okay, let me actually try to put them in the chat. Let's see if this works. Hold on. Trying to get these in the chat for you. Okay, here we go. So they're in the chat so you can see them, and I'll read them through a couple times. So order these 8 energies in order of your top priority to your least. Here they are in alphabetical order. Accomplishment, celebration, connection, generosity, pleasure, possibility, respect, transformation. I'll read them through in alphabetical one more time. You order them in priority for you, top to bottom. In alphabetical order, they are accomplishment, celebration, connection, generosity, pleasure, possibility, respect, transformation. Give yourself a minute to order those. And when you have your order, go ahead and tell me your top 1, 2, 3, and then number 8. So you can just put 1, 2, 3, and then slash, and then your number 8. So we can see what your top 3 are and what your last one is. Can they change as we grow? Great question, Brita. So my personal belief is that our wealth code is our wealth code is our wealth code. And sometimes we might have done this exercise earlier and we were still operating from conditioning. And so maybe we didn't really let ourselves name our true wealth code because we still were playing with what we think they should be. And so then it might change. But my own belief is that our wealth code really is our wealth code always. Now, we might come into a situation where, again, we focus on another ingredient a little bit, but it doesn't change our wealth code. It's just that we're just playing with it a little bit. So if you already know your wealth code and you're like, yeah, this really is my true wealth code, then you don't have to redo it. If you've done this before and you were like, I was in a disempowered place and I was still having a judgment, I was thinking like, I can't put that as my number 1. That has to be number 5 at least. Then let yourself list your true wealth code. Go ahead and put in the chat. I'm excited to see what are What is your wealth code? You can list all 8 out if you want, or you can just list 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Hannah's is possibility, pleasure, celebration. Number 4, respect. Amber, pleasure, connection, celebration. Amazing. Ruth is transformation, respect, connection. And then number 8 is possibility. Beautiful. Isn't it so fun to see how already like everyone's is different? Reet, generosity, connection, celebration. Respect is 8. Christine, pleasure, connection, generosity. 8 is accomplishment. I love getting to see how different they are. Pleasure, accomplishment, generosity, celebration is 8 for Erica. Connection, transformation, and pleasure are Joyce's top 3. Yeah. This is your wealth code. Friends, this is your wealth code. So the order of all 8, that's really your full recipe, the full wealth code. But we kind of shortcut talk about it by really looking at our top 3 and our last one. It's just a way to kind of just shortcut talk about it. But our wealth code is all 8. So everyone uses all 8 ingredients. Everyone uses all 8. Even your number 8, it's not that that's not in your wealth code. It still is. It's still an ingredient that you use. You just prioritize it different than your top 3. So we especially pay attention to our top 3 with a wink at number 8, knowing what that is, but all 8 is our recipe. That's our relationship with money. So these are the energies for you to embody when you're being rich. Your top 3 energies, those are the energies, the way of being, your personal flavor for you to activate when you want to experience a beingness of richness inside of you. And we can see that that might look totally different or opposite of someone else's, right? Like I'm just looking at Emily and Brita's. For Emily, when she's really honoring her wealth code, she's activating respect. For Brita, that's number 8. And if Emily and Brita were to compare, that one of them might feel like, or both of them might feel like, man, I'm doing it wrong, but they're not. They're going to do money differently because they're honoring their own individual wealth codes. Okay, so this having our wealth code creates so much freedom and liberation, because what we have now is, this is my relationship with money. This is my path. This is the relationship for me to walk with money. So now I'm sure you're wondering, like, well, what do I do with this? How do I live my wealth code? So I have 2 things that I think are going to be really supportive for you. First, this is one of my favorite things ever. I have a list of 88 ways to play and practice your wealth code. So I took each of the 8 energies and created 11 practices for each. These are like journal prompts, practices, exercises, things to take on. I would love to gift this to you and invite you to dive in and choose a couple of them, especially for your top 3 and your last one. So I'll just text it to you. Here's what to do if you want I'll just send it to you. If you want my PDF of the 88 ways to play with your wealth code, you're going to text the word wealth to me at 920-282-6613. This is my business number. It's through an app. So the first message will be an auto message. When I respond, it's really me, the human, or someone on my team. If it's ever someone on my team, they'll tell you, but it's really me. I'll like pick up my phone, open up the app, text you the PDF. Okay. It's me, the human. So text wealth to my work number and I'll just send you the PDF. It's so good. I love some of the practices. And this is a place that I go when I'm noticing I'm kind of getting out of sync with my wealth code. Like if I'm feeling a little disempowered, it's like, great, let me go and dive into some of the practices. This is the way for me to flex that. I saw a question in here and I see some comments. So enlightening, never thought about the energies of money. Okay, Lulu was asking, are these 8 geared toward feminine entrepreneur mindsets or across the board genderless employee, employer, biz owner, homemaker, no matter mindsets? Option 2, Lulu. These are, I think that all humans have within us the energies of accomplishment, celebration, connection, generosity, pleasure, possibility, respect, and transformation, no matter what, no matter how we work, if we work, who we are, who we love, what we do. These 8 energies exist within all of us. just as the 8 ingredients exist within almost all marineras. It's just a really helpful language for us to lean into as feminine entrepreneurs. Okay, so definitely text me that if you want that PDF, because I'd love to send it to you. I have one more thing for those of you who are like, I want to know more on my wealth code. This, I love, like having this is unlocking something for me, and I want to know something more. I created a little bundle for you. Lisa and I teamed up and we created just a little bundle that supports you in taking a deeper dive on the next step. So the bundle includes 3 things. It includes part 2 of this workshop. So part 1 is discovering what a wealth code is and what your wealth code is. Part 2 is free yourself from the guilt of how your relationship with money has been in the past. And so I take you through a number of different exercises in this workshop. It's a recording, so you can do it self-study, so that you can actually start to unhook from the old conditioning, the old ways that money has gone in the past. It's a really powerful workshop. So that's in the bundle. The second thing in the bundle is a meditation from Lisa that will support you to connect energetically to your wealth code. If I were you, I would be listening to this meditation every morning and every night for like 10 days or more. Because what the meditation is doing is it's connecting you to your wealth code again and again and again. And we're building a new habit. We're stepping out of the way of conditioning that we knew to do money. And we're stepping into, this is my wealth code. This is how I connect with it. It's a powerful meditation. And if you've ever done one of Lisa's meditations before, you know she's the queen. And then the third thing that the bundle includes, so it includes 3 things, is a one-on-one wealth code audit with one of the coaches on Team Rise. And in this one-on-one audit, you will be supported, you'll be coached to look at, okay, so here's where you're out of alignment with your wealth code. We're going to pinpoint exactly, this is where the misalignment is, and look at how you can shift back into it. So you're going to have that real-time support of identifying one place where you're really out of alignment, and then have the coaching to look at how you can shift back into it. So the bundle is a value of $777. I will give it to you for $111. So 111 is what you can get the bundle for. This is a steal. So you'll get the masterclass, the meditation that you can use again and again and again, and the one-on-one wealth code audit with one of the coaches on Team Rise. Allison is doing the wealth code bundle audits right now, and she's done a number of them that have been really powerful. So I just put the link in the chat. You can get that at bit.ly/wealth code bundle. You can get the whole bundle, $111. This is a beautiful investment that you can make to really embrace your wealth code, to look at, okay, not only am I going to be aware of what my wealth code is, but I'm going to step out of the old conditioning so that I have the space to lean into my wealth code. And then I'm going to take on the meditation again and again and again to activate that wealth code, to build a new pattern, to cuddle up to it. And I get to do the wealth code audit to get really clear and specific on how I can make that shift for me. I want to end today with an opportunity for you to connect with your wealth code. Okay, so go ahead and just close your eyes. You can put your hand on your heart or keep your palms open, whatever feels good for you. And I want to invite you to imagine a scene a short while from now. Notice who you are. How would you describe yourself? Notice who you're with and what you're doing. And dial up the ways of being that your wealth code would have you be. Dial up those top 3 energies. Feel those energies of pleasure, possibility, celebration, accomplishment, generosity, respect, transformation. Feel those inside of you. Let yourself be your wealth code. And notice how that feels running through your body. Connect with what feels possible from this place. Breathe into that. Set a new vibrational prerequisite for yourself as you move through the day. Notice what choices you would make when you are being rich, when you are honoring your wealth code. Let's take 3 breaths to really anchor that in. Go ahead and breathe in and out. Again, in and out. And one more breath in and out. And as you bring yourself back to the room, keep that way of being running from you. You don't have to step out of it. You can stay anchored in your wealth code, in that way of being. You can choose this any and all of the times. That's your vibrational prerequisite. That can create what's next for you. Give yourself the gift of taking the next step with the wealth code bundle. I would love to get to support you through the part 2 of this workshop. There's so many exercises in there that really supports you to move through, for you to have that meditation and do the wealth code audit, which is so powerful to have someone look at your blind spot with you. We can't see what's in our blind spot. And I'm so grateful for you tuning in. This is a workshop you can come back to. Go play with your wealth code. I will text you the PDF. Take on the practices, play with it. It was such an honor and a joy for me to get to be with you today. So thank you for tuning in, letting me be in this space with you. I had such a good time. And I'll get to talk to you soon. Thanks, friends.